I say now what's head in 9 Spiral. Fair use, YouTube fair use. This is for criticism, news reporting, teaching, parody, education, all that. You can contact these folk down here. I don't have the number right now. You got a warning sign right here. Section 107. Let's cook. Alright, now see now what's happening now, Spiral. And we gonna cook, man. We gonna cook. We doing some late night cooking. Alright. And look here, man, I'm not gonna go back and forth, in the comment section about nobody, about no witchcraft. Honestly, I think what's going on with the witchcraft thing, right, is that we ask the question at Drop Nation, who are you according to scripture, right? Because we know who Moab is, we know who Edom is, we damn near know who Ishmael is, we know who Ammon is, right? These are different tribes, okay? They're not Israelites. So nobody's gonna put witchcraft on us Israelites, right? I'm not gonna allow you to do that. We wasn't rocking like that. Now, it's for some people, but it ain't for us. I'm not sitting up here saying that nobody was rocking like that. It just wasn't us Israelites, right? Who are you according to scripture? Because you had to have a beginning, and it starts in Genesis, right? So that's all I'm gonna say about it. Stop saying that somebody is wrong, right? If I'm wrong, you wrong. All right, we're gonna get into it. We cooking. We cooking up MK Ultra Mind Control Part 2. MK Ultra Mind Control Part 2. And we're gonna dig on how your government has been dealing in black magic, right? Black magic. Your government has been dealing in black magic since World War II, right? And we're gonna get that. You see, the Most High told us, do not inquire after how they serve their gods. It's simple as that. And I'm gonna show you proof. Let's go.
There is also an extremely important
Are you okay?
Yes.
Hold on. You'll be fine. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
It's okay.
We actually go back to... Hold on a minute. Sir, can somebody help me?
You see that? You see that?
Persuade that of course. Hit him to the ground. Hit him to the ground.
Alright. 9 Spiral. Late night cooking. Little something. Hey, look here, man. I don't know why some of y'all think the Most High ain't coming back to commit mass murder, right? I don't think y'all quite understand. The Most High said, on that day, I'm going to magnify myself, right? I'm going to magnify myself in the sight of many nations. Long time I've been still and restrained myself. Now I will cry like a woman in labor. I will gasp and paint at once. I will lay waste mountains and hills. Huh? Jeremiah 51, 57. And I will make drunk her princes and wise men, her governors, her deputies, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not awake, says the King, whose name is the Most High of Hosts. Huh? So now we don't have no time to be going back and forth about nothing. Fourth quarter.
The President of Portugal fainted during a speech to the country's military. Aníbal Cavaco Silva was taken ill during ceremonies for Portugal's National Day.
Casey was about 15 minutes into his speech on terrorism when he started slurring his words, slumping over, as you can see there.
The country that doesn't innovate stagnates.
This is the story of a 30-year search by U.S. intelligence agencies to perfect mind control. Some of those engaged in that search have agreed to talk about it for the first time. One said, "I think every last one of us felt sorry to attempt this kind of thing. We knew we were crossing the line. The search would be endless, from broad..."
You hear that shit? What type of shit is that? Huh?
An agent says, "We learned a lot about human nature in the bedroom." To the mystical rites of a magical mushroom ceremony performed by an Indian shaman. To a Spanish bull ring. The bull has had electrodes implanted in the brain and is controlled by a scientist. There would be victims. One intelligence agency tried to peel this man's mind back to reveal it.
Look at him. It's all about subduing the Naga. Subduing the Naga.
Its deepest secrets.
I lived through it.
This man worked on some of these programs. He would write of his work, "It was fun, fun, fun." This is the story of the search for mind control. ABC News Close-Up, Mission Mind Control.
Subduing the Naga. That's what it's all about.
With ABC News correspondent Paul Altmaier.
We are not professing to tell you the complete story of these activities. We are professing to tell you the complete story that we know. But these records that we've uncovered don't tell the story. They tell pieces of it.
This is a story that has been told in bits and pieces.
You see that? They just know bits and pieces, huh? They gonna act like they ain't doing that shit today. You see that shit? Bits and pieces. We don't know all of it. Okay.
Pieces. This is an attempt to pull most of it together. We know we don't have the full story. We do, however, have...
You see, the Most High ain't gonna allow them to keep certain shit secret, right? No, it don't work like that.
Have some striking new revelation.
Most High gonna level the playing field. You feel me?
And insights. The story begins here, just off the nation's front yard, the Mall. The buildings behind me were the headquarters for the World War II Office of Strategic Services. It was here that the first halting steps toward
World War II, huh? I told you. Your government has been dealing in black magic since World War II. Since the 40s.
Mind control began. The shaper and molder of OSS was General Wild Bill Donovan. He said of his group's work, "We may have made mistakes, but we were not afraid to try things that were never..."
Wild Bill Donovan. All right.
Done before. In this anything-goes atmosphere, Donovan appointed this man, Stanley Lovell, a Boston industrialist.
Stanley Lovell, whoever that nigga name is. All right. Put the camera on their ass.
Industrialist to break new ground in many scientific and technical fields.
I'm breaking all demons. I'm convicting all demons. I'm here to convict you. I'm here to point the finger. The Most High said, I need you, Nine Spiral, to point the finger. There he is. So when the Most High come back, they gonna know where, yeah, I'm gonna point the finger. There he is right there. There he is. There that nigga go over there down the street. There he is right there. I'm pointing all fingers at all demons. You don't scare me.
Fields. Donovan called Lovell his Dr. Moriarty, after the fiendish professor in Sherlock Holmes.
I ain't scared of you, rest in peace, Bernie Mac. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
Lovell liked the name and posed for this Saturday Evening Post photo.
I said, Jim, I motherfucking tell you, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers out here.
He later wrote of his OSS job that it was, quote, to stimulate the PEC's bad boy beneath the surface of every American scientist and to say to him, throw all of your normal law...
Y'all see them demons? Put the camera on his ass. Go back. There you. Now Spire, put the camera on their ass. Look at him, demon. Just look at the eyes. Look at him. Whites, huh? There he is. Look at him. Who sent these motherfuckers, huh? Cause we know where y'all come from. All right, pop off.
PEC's bad boy beneath the surface of every American scientist and to say to him, throw all of your normal law-abiding concepts out of the window. Here's a chance to raise merry hell. It was in this atmosphere that the search for mind control began. This bizarre man would be an active participant in that search over the next 2 decades. His name is George White, an OSS captain who had formerly...
Who? George who?
White.
Oh, okay. I knew it was white, something like that. What is it? Whitening? What is it again? George who?
White.
George
White.
White. Okay, got it. Got it. Yeah, so we just digging on George. Oh, George White. What is it? Like white, the whitening fish? Is George who? George White. Okay, got it.
In the Bureau of Narcotics. In his diary, seen here publicly for the first time, White left a legacy of the darker side of American intelligence work. He received his early OSS training at the British-run school at Oshawa, Canada, the same school where Ian Fleming, the creator of James Bond, was trained. White referred to the school in his diaries as the Oshawa School of Mayhem and Murder. Mike Burke.
You hear that? Mayhem and murder. Order out of chaos. They create chaos to bring about their new world order.
Former OSS colleague of White's and now president of Madison Square Garden Center.
Very compelling fellow, mysterious fellow, almost mystical fellow. He was fascinating because you knew something
mystical fellow. He was an old mystical one, huh? Okay.
About him, but not enough about him to really get a fix on him. He also knew a great deal about the swifter elements of society, the gamier side of life.
The gamier side, the swifter, the trickster, huh? The gamier. There's thought in them, right? Trigomagestes, Hermes. That's that thoth. That's thoth in them. That's that Moorish shit, right? That's Moab in them.
And he was very impressive in his technical knowledge of the underworld.
Because you sadly mistaken if you think it's just the white man. No. No.
World, so to speak.
He said one of our men gets beat up. He says you have to act real fast and teach these guys a lesson.
Charles Siragusa, a former narcotics officer and friend of White's.
He'll come around, he says, and break your kneecaps. And with that...
You hear that? Don't that sound like some Klan shit? Billy Club and niggas and shit? Huh? That's that lynching shit, breaking kneecaps and shit? Okay.
And one guy laughed, and George would always have a little Billy with him. And this one guy saw us naked. George White turned around and whapped him across the neck with it. And he picked up a pool stick and started beating everybody
George
up.
White.
He made his point.
And he made his point.
George White was not a man of understatement or subtleties. His boss at OSS, Stanley Lovell, referred to him as deadly and dedicated. In this note from White's diaries, it says, "Call Lovell."
What? Hit the music on him. God damn. Boy, I gotta use that in one of my rhymes, man. Nigga, I'm deadly and dedicated. Ooh.
Regarding TD. TD was a rather transparent cover for Truth Drug. George White worked with the Truth Drug Committee here at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in the nation's capital. They experimented with...
A what? A Truth Drug Committee? This is your government. These are the people you vote in. You know, you pay homage to, right? These are the people y'all look up to. These are the people that y'all waiting to give y'all land and shit, right? The government holding land for us. Okay, go ahead and fall into that trap.
With mescaline, scopolamine, and marijuana on unwitting victims. The committee soon learned...
All right, now I take the marijuana, let go.
And there was no easy panacea, no truth drug at this stage. Wow. But White and later colleagues would not stop trying.
Wow.
The goal remained the same. As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against such fundamental laws of nature as self-preservation.
What? Hey, look, yeah, these are the people y'all look up to. Y'all vote these people in, and y'all still want to do deals with them. And Oh, they holding land for us. They gonna give it to us. We just gotta sign some papers and shit. Y'all go ahead and fall into that trap, right? Yeah, boy. Hey, boy, look here. Your enemy is crafty, huh? They covered all angles. Your enemy is very crafty, the Most High say. He say, trust them not.
Person, but within SIS specifically, what happens is they are experimenting on their own employees. So it's a long story. I'll try to get through it quick. But basically, people are selected from all over the country. We're talking other cities all over America. They are selected for many different reasons. Often it is because they are isolated. They don't have a lot of money, friends, or family. And they also tend to be people that are highly, highly intelligent.
Is that why I'm in the program? Okay.
Aspects of this technology that they're interested in improving upon have to do with cognitive processes, processing information, and as a result, they want highly intelligent people to be targets of this program. They also tend to target people who are into what I would call alternative research. Commonly called maybe conspiracy theories, people that disagree with the government, people that are into researching things like 9/11. Also, they are interested in people that are...
I bet you ain't count on me putting up a fight, huh? You see, I had a talk with my mother and father above. And get what they said. Power in me and you can't have it. I rock with the greatest. Them gods you worship secondary in status.
Interested in technology. I have found a high percentage of targeted individuals to be people who either are interested in or have information on highly advanced technologies, usually having to do with directed energy weapons and frequency weapons, the exact kind of weapons that we're talking about here that are used in voice to skull. And behavior modification, the works. There's many other aspects to the technology. But once these people are selected, they will have the entire gang stalking / voice to skull program run against them. This is detailed in my article, but they will be organized stalk. They will have career sabotage programs run against them to ruin their job. They will have character assassinations campaigns run against them in their neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I've been there. The job thing, oh yeah, it's real.
They'll be isolated from family and friends as those individuals are turned against them. And they will be isolated slowly and slowly over time using the technology itself. As many of the people freak out, understandably, when they at first don't know what it is. Oftentimes, they end up going to psychiatrists and false diagnoses of schizophrenia, manic depression, delusional, paranoid are rendered against this individual. And it turns out that that's a loophole in the law that they are using to take away people's constitutional rights, as once you are deemed mentally unfit to care for yourself, i.e. you're depressed, delusional, paranoid, etc., they use that, the state or the federal government uses that as an excuse to come in and say that they have to care.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so it happened to all of us in the program. It did happen to me once, and I figured out real quick. Any type of hospital help, they will call a 5150 on your ass. They will call a 5150. And so, yeah, they pretty much suffocate all means of any type of support or assistance. Let's go.
For you. So I would warn all targeted individuals out there, please do not go to psychiatrists and...
I learned my lesson. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And allow them to render a diagnosis against you.
Nigga, I talked with a fucking doctor, right? Who's also a targeted individual in the program. And they pulled a 5150 on her. I've seen them pull a 5150 on lawyers. Let's go.
Because that is a dirty trick they're using to take away the rights of people all over the country. So full-blown TIs, what I would call people that are getting the voice to skull, the frequency, and the organized stalking, I have heard is between 1 and 2 million.
All right, so through my research, the voice to skull, there is a school of thought out there that in order for this to take place, because the technology is patented, right? They got whole YouTube videos where they demonstrating at universities, in classrooms, right? So the technology is patent. It's out there, and it's patented by, all these technologies are patented by none other than U.S. Army, right? Military industrial complex, right? So from my understanding, you would have to been chipped, because I have conversed with other TIs that says that they have to save up money to get a body scan. And I've seen a lot of people say that their means of making money has been sabotaged just because they were trying to do so. Because if they get that body scan, right, just like the ones that have gotten the body scan, you'll find out that you have a chip in you, or you've been implanted. And so this is where the voice to skull comes in place, because it's a chip in you that's expanding a bandwidth. It's picking up another bandwidth, right? And so it's done, everything is done in the inner ear. This technology vibrates the inner ear. I don't want to sound too long-winded, so we're going to keep it moving.
You will be set, you and your girlfriend, or if you're married, you and your wife, your husband, your children are going to be taken care of. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to have brand new cars every couple of years. Your kids are going to go to the best schools, and you are going to be connected, for lack of a better term. And at this point, it really does take on almost an organized crime feel to it, because what you're dealing with are people that are pleasing their boss in order to do something that is absolutely illegal. They're monitoring and harassing and torturing, and sometimes leading to the death of American citizens. They're violating their civil rights. They're violating their human rights. They're violating basic human decency.
Oh yeah, they got gang stalking ads on Craigslist and various other website means and shit like that. I've seen them on various temporary agencies.
This is horrible stuff that's being done to people. And so you have to understand the psychological aspect that goes into convincing gang stalkers and people that are part of the program to do what they're doing. It is in fact, the psychological operation that is run against gang stalkers themselves and people that participate in the program is just as...
And so what we've come to understand is sort of like a pyramid scheme. Once they entice you into it, if you do not, abide by, the rules, or if you say, hey, look, I don't want to do this no more. My morality kicked back in. I feel bad about what I'm doing. I don't want to do it no more. They then turn the technology on you. See how that works?
Advanced, if not more so than the psychological program that is run against TIs. It absolutely is. And so what you have is this very intense psychological program that's run. In fact, one of the things that I'm not sure people are aware of, but I'm trying to cover this on my site because I have direct knowledge of it: hive minds, voice to skull, emotion manipulation behavior, modification technology is being used against the gang stalkers themselves and against people in the program. And it is being used to assist them in doing their job, specifically to take away their conscience, specifically to take away their empathy and their sympathy for the individual, for the targeted individual, so that they...
And yeah, no doubt, man. It never gets old to me. Every time I witness it, it never gets old to me. Like, who would stoop so low to do some shit like this? And so it got to be some means of truth to what he's saying, because I just don't see nobody doing it for money. Now, they get paid good money now. I've seen an ad, $15, $16 an hour. 17, you feel me? We're going to get into the GS level 12, level 7 through 12. Government paychecks, right? Let's go.
Don't feel bad, so that they don't feel guilty about what
my qualm is what you gonna do to me? I'm already in the program, so
they're doing. They are many times intelligence agents and soldiers are trained to get the empathy and the sympathy out of their system, because you're going to be asked to kill someone for us. You're going to have to go on the battlefield and shoot someone, and you're going to shoot them just because we tell you to shoot them. And so a lot of the stuff that goes on in basic training and in terms of training intelligence operatives is designed specifically to make sure that people...
There you go, people.
Name's Stalker. He's a perp. What's up, perp? How you doing today? Got his little earpiece in. Tell him to give him his directions. See his earpiece. Yeah. Got his little wired bug. Yeah. How long you been stalking people, man?
Yeah. Okay. Nigga, you the poster boy for gang stalkers. This stupid ass motherfucker said, since I got out of the military. Okay, let's hear it.
Who's your handler, man? Yeah, who's your handler? Satanic robot for the New World Order right there.
That's exactly what he is. Fat boy.
So you said it's only illegal to follow people to their home. So you can just follow them around wherever you want.
Oh, arrogant ass motherfucker.
How much they pay you to do this, man?
I showed you that 556, boy.
Huh? You get salary? Yeah. Okay. GS level 12. GS level 12. Okay. What's that mean? It's a government pay rate. Yeah. Okay.
GS level 12. Government pay rate. Okay.
So what you do is legal. So you follow people around wherever you want to.
There you go, people.
What's DOD's framework for Homeland Defense? Well, their framework includes strategies, plans, and actions taken to detect, deter, prevent, and defeat threats and aggression against the homeland. Now, I should also add here that experimentation is needed to ensure the effectiveness of Homeland Defense. Then we have to ask ourselves, what's a threat? Well, a threat comes in many forms. A threat comes in the form of a whistleblower, an activist, a protester, a movement, politicians, constitutionalists, gun advocates, perhaps even an ex-lover. We've all sort of heard of, or most of us have heard of Lovent, especially with the recent release of the Snowden movie. So then we ask ourselves, what are DOD's Homeland Defense objectives? Well, there are 8 of them, and they are to identify the threat, dissuade adversaries, ensure defense of the homeland, and deny an adversary's access. Ensure access to cyberspace and information. Protect the domestic population and critical infrastructure. Deter aggression and coercion by conducting global operations. Decisively defeat any attack if deterrence fails. That means death. And recovery of the force to restore readiness and capabilities after an attack or incident. So of those, I'm going to go ahead and just focus in on deter aggression. And we need to define deterrence. And I'm going to read you the official definition of deterrence according to the DoD. And it is very convoluted, it's very confusing, but I will attempt to translate it for you. So deterrence is a state of mind brought about by the existence of a credible threat of unacceptable counteraction against adversaries, or the prospect of their mission failing to achieve desired objectives. So translated, if you're an adversary, if you're a TI, anything you attempt to do to increase your resources, social, monetary, political, safety, will be thwarted to the extent that you understand that you are destined to fail and no longer pursue those resources.
Yeah, that's about right. I've been denied of disability twice, and I have 2 titanium plates with 12 screws holding my left hip up. I broke it in 3 places. And so yeah, that sound about right. And hey, look here, man. If y'all can support the channel, I appreciate it. They definitely make it hard for me. Let's just say that.
One moment, please.
Do your thing, Dr. Sean.
So how does the DoD implement deterrence? They have a concept called the Joint Operating Concept. And it's an effort to identify and institutionalize homeland defense and unconventional warfare. I want you to remember the term unconventional warfare because we're going to touch on it in quite a bit here coming up. So the Joint Operating Concept serves 2 purposes. It defines how joint forces must operate to counter irregular threats. Now, joint forces would include collaborations between, say, the DoD, FBI, NSA, DEA, just about local police, your local enforcement agencies, law enforcement agencies, your state troopers, and so forth. There are various joint operating.
Freemason lodges, churches are involved, city councils, a lot of companies, major companies. I do know, what's his name? Amazon is involved. FedEx is involved. And basically, what they do, ambulance, fire trucks, what they'll do, they'll get a call and tell them to go in your vicinity, and they'll park somewhere in your vicinity, usually right down from your house, or their ride pads real slow. All they're doing is picking up a signal, either from your laptop or your cell phone. And that's all they're doing. So that way, when they get ready to hit you, right? When they get ready to triangulate you with those cell towers and send that plane above and beam and beam down on you, what it does, it magnifies that signal, right, around you. So the attack is more aggressive. And so a lot of people, these people don't know what they're doing. They just get a phone call. It's just like with a gang stalker. A gang stalker will get a text, be at this address and do your thing, right up and down the street or whatever they do. And that's how it works. A lot of these people really don't know the full gist of what they're doing. That's what I'm trying to get at. Huh? There you go, people.
CIA. Well, let's check out what the CIA has been up to. Well, this is a book here. If you don't have it, I would highly encourage you to get it. The name of the book is Weird Scenes Inside the Canyon. It's Laura Canyon, Covert Ops, and the Dark Heart of the Hippie Dream. And it's by David McGowan. And this is a very fascinating book in that it goes into a lot of the musicians. A lot of the musicians that came up in the 60s. You know, you name them. All the Doors, you know, the Beatles, and the Beatles not so much in this book, but the Doors, everyone in that era, all those like that contribute to the hippie movement. Many of those people, and they show you in this book, many of those people, those musicians, were the children of not just people who were in the military, but their parents were oftentimes in the intelligence part of the military. And they show you right in the book. It traces, and you could double check it to make sure, you know, it's legit, and it's legit.
Yeah, that's another deception. That's a whole nother level of deception, y'all. You know, the double agent thing and playing two characters, pulling the character off the scene and going and playing another game. This shit been going on for a long time. I would say since Civil War, mid 1800s, and it's still going on to this day. I've actually traced some of your favorite stars, actresses and actors and rappers, R&B stars, to military. And I mean high ranking military. Nonetheless, moving along.
Any of these musicians, their parents were in the intelligence community. So it's almost like a thing now with the intelligence community. It's so sick. They train their kids to be an arm or a tool for the purposes of this dark government, or whatever you want to call it, you know. And so anyway, in this book, it also talks about how many of the...
Now do you understand why we dig on those insane asylums during the 1800s, right? What you think they was doing in that motherfucker, man? This is the same shit. It's their signature. And it's all about their sorcery and witchcraft, right? And their spell casting. Like I said, you know, it's for some people, but it's not for my people.
These artists, when they first came on the scene, they couldn't even have play. Like they were barely musicians. But they were propped up by our government to put out stuff, and I'm gonna talk about it with these points and then
all of them. Doors, Monkeys, Jimi Hendrix, throw his ass in there, Joni Mitchell, Eric Clapton. And so what we see here really is by means, I think this is when they started to crank up the psychological warfare through music, and started to control and experiment with controlling the masses with music, in which they still do to this day very well. They got my generation, of course, of y'all in my generation. If you're 80s baby, you know, I was born in 78. You know, they got us with the gangster rap. Now that we've gotten older, we're able to go back and tell, you know, the younger Ox and Aquas, you know, this is what happened, right? So watch out for y'all generation, because it's much worse with us. It was in the beginning, I would say not beginning stages, but middle stages. Now they have perfected it. Now they got y'all wearing They got young niggas dyeing their hair. We used to wear baggy pants and shit. Now we used to wear baggy pants and sag. Now they wear tight pants and still sag. I don't know how that worked. They got motherfuckers wearing lipstick, makeup, dresses. So you see the brainwashing behind the music. You know, I had to break my daughter out this shit real quick. And I got her on old school 70s R&B, and she love it. And so, but this is right around the time they started to, experiment with it.
Next few slides here, and with the combination of drugs and all that kind of stuff, they were able to manipulate it.
You know, now you're not a cool rapper if you're not gay. Pete, right? You're not a cool rapper if you're not gay, and you ain't no cool rapper if you ain't got no fucking loud dye in your hair. Or rocking a man, what they call it, a man bag. It's still a purse.
So there's a deactivation code to take the system down. He said it's airborne since 2003 in Europe. We're all infected by this.
Now, let's get this absolutely clear. A deactivation code for what? Our genetics?
For the synthetic RNA they sprayed.
So they've sprayed something?
Since 2003, they spray synthetic RNA connected to lipopeptides that infiltrate our human system, connect to our cell, to our DNA. So it's in our genetic, but it does not reproduce because it's RNA. If it would have been DNA, it would hit to the next generation. RNA stops in the infected being, it doesn't go further.
So that would be all current people alive?
Yes. He said it had been tested in the last Iraq war. This was the war was only done for the purpose of testing the system.
Now you're talking about the most recent one.
Yes, with the Julia. Yeah.
And they sprayed that in Iraq.
And they sprayed it in Iraq, and we had single news, for example, that they fought back the Iraqi army by utilizing microwave weapons that gave them the feeling that the skin burns. This was in public media and mainstream media. And this is not because the microwave weapon had the intensity to make it burn. This is because the RNA was triggered to create the sensation of burning. So this had a kind of agent within the bodies of the Iraqi army. They tested all other aspects of it. And from the text he says you have these psychotronic weapons, making them give up, making them fall in love with the American soldiers, whatever. A long list of psychotronic functions. And you can make people sick, you can make them die of cancer after 1 year, you can make them die in 6 minutes, and you can make them die in 6 seconds if you want to. This is what he listed. And but the most interesting thing from this paper is that he said that they spent 10 billion US and half a year, I think it was half a year, to optimize the cluster topology. And this is something, it sounds just like science fiction if you say it like this, but if you really think about it, if it is only about infecting humans with a virus like synthetic RNA, you could give a damn about cluster topology. Cluster topology starts to become an interesting topic if this RNA cluster is supposed to carry a soul. Only then a soul or an artificial intelligence or whatever, an RNA. So this is kind of the first time that I had an input, an idea of how do they turn people into biorobots. You have the RNA cluster within the air, sprayed in the air with a defined distance from RNA to RNA, And within the human body, the same RNA cluster is prolonged within the cells. And now, whatever is carried by these clusters, the artificial intelligence or a program or a soul, whatever this is, can travel from the dust into the human being.
This is smart dust.
And this is what they call smart dust. And now, this is all kind of grad theory. If you take the Morgellon topic is, if you find it described as a transhumanistic technology to extract light from the human body, turn it into a radio signal to read out what happens within the human, and opposite way to insert light, not a radio frequency to the human, to make him feel whatever you want to make him feel. If you take this Morgellon concept, if you take the nanocrystals, the nanocrystal concept, and if you take all the other things, and then you look into some internal papers of the NASA. This is something that went online, I don't know when, 2000 maybe, or a little bit earlier. It wasn't meant to be published. It was an internal lecture in the NASA facility in the United States.
I like the way you say NASA. Is that just your thick German accent, or are you putting a Z in there intentionally?
No, it was not intentionally, but it is like this. And they kind of inform each other about future strategic issues for warfare, projecting to the year 2025 with a subtitle, big subtitle, "The Future is Now." And if you look through it, you find the concept of some sensor swarm, smart dust. You find nanotext, which is identical with the Morgellon function. And you find co-opted insects. So somewhere in the American intelligence community, which seems to be black magic inspired.
Oh, well, there are certain individuals who say the U.S. Army has totally been satanic since like the 1930s.
Sometimes I would say it looks like. Definitely the intelligence, the army-based intelligence community, especially whatever was founded by the Tavistock Institute, which is CIA and Office of Naval Intelligence. Those are definitely black magic institutions. From their origin, going back to the Tavistock, I mean, this is Kara's partner in mine, as an interview, I guess, with her online. But NASA knows all the components, and it is interlocked in the United States. If you go to Silicon Valley, you have three big buildings. One is Singularity University, with the founder Ray Kurzweil, who is dreaming about, and there are interviews out there where Kurzweil is dreaming about sending nanobots to other planets to harvest energy and matter, to multiply the overall intelligence of the human-machine civilization. Originally his words. And then he asked himself if there's a God that exists, and he says, not yet. This is Ray Kurzweil. Now, next building from Singularity University, Transhumanistic headquarters, is Google headquarters, where he now is head developer, same Ray Kurzweil. And on the other side of the university is NASA headquarters, the one who is certifying the planes to spray, according to Kara's novel. So all these members of this Black Brotherhood even sit in the same street as neighbors.
Alright, you hear that? They all sit on the same street. Out there in Cali. Khalifa. Ezekiel 38, verse 18 through 23. Welcome to Forbidden Scripture. And it will come to pass at that time, when Gog comes against the land of Israel, says the Most High. that my fury will show in my face, For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath I have spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great earthquake in the land of Israel, so that the fish of the sea, the birds of the Shamayim, the beasts of the field, all creeping things that creep on the earth, and all men who are on the face of the earth shall shake at my presence. The mountains shall be thrown down, the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. I will call for a sword against God throughout all my mountains, says the Most High. Wow. Every man's sword will be against his brother, and I will bring him to judgment with pestilence and bloodshed. I will rain down on him, on his troops, and on the many peoples who are with him, flooding rain, great hailstones, fire, and brimstone. Thus I will magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations. Then they shall know that I am the Most High. Wow.